we've gotten so far away from really talking about what Christ did. You know, we have the shows, we have we have the conferences, we have, the lives, the TikToks, the podcasts, and different things like that. And that's fine, right? Like, that's fine, right? I have a podcast, right? But I believe that God is calling us to a space where there's so many people out there, so many, lost sheep out there. And he's saying, basically, go and feed my sheep, bring them home to me, right? And I believe we're in a time where it's more important more now than ever, right? Like, we are in revival. We really are. And this revival is not like a revival, we've heard of revivals many times, but this is a different kind of revival. And because of this, guys, there's an urgency to go out there and to preach the gospel and to tell more people about Christ. And I mean, to really tell them the cost of his death, to really understand the reconciliation that took place, to really understand what it is that Christ did for us, what he did for the people that even neglect him. One of the things that I was sitting in prayer, and one of the things that God told me, he said, pay for it. And there's so many people that don't really understand that he paid for all these things. And there are a lot of times where we just kind of, we brush it aside, and we've gotten so interested in, the conferences and different things like that. But what about telling people what Jesus did? What about really breaking it down? Because there's been times where I've had to go back. And I've had to really go and look at what Christ did for me. And I'm talking about looking at what his death meant, what the cost of that meant. And I believe we are in a place now more than ever where we need to start spreading and sharing the gospel. We need to start spreading it and get outside of what we want, and to really start focusing on bringing people to Christ, focusing on God's glory. It is not about us. Does God, give us the desires of our heart? Yes, he does. But in all of this, there are sheep that are lost, and there are lives that are on the line right now. And we need to be out there in the forefront, and we need to be spreading and sharing the gospel more than ever. And so I say all of this to say, this is critical, and it's an urgency behind it. There's an urgency. And so, share with your family and friends. Start sharing with them. Start sharing with them, guys. Share with the people at work. And if you do not know Christ, understand that Christ died for you. And when Christ died for you, he died so that you could be reconciled back to him. And to understand reconciliation, if we just look at just, the regular terms, right, is to be connected back to something that you were once broken from. But even if we want to look at it from a financial checks and balances point, a reconciliation, it's a balance of things. So when Christ died, what he did was he balanced out things for us. He balanced out what was charged against us And with that, you now have the opportunity to do life with Christ. You now have the opportunity to discover your true identity in Christ. Before everything happened with the fall of man, God created you. You were created in God's image. You were created in the image and likeness of God.